Welcome back to Bible Bites. My name's Reverend Mark, and it is great that we can meet together for Easter Part 2. And this time, Reverend Dave is also going to be part of this Bible Bites, and he will join in very shortly. So, before we begin, let's just light the candle and say a prayer. And we can do a big Amen. So if we light the candle first. And if you're watching this on Easter Sunday, it is a very special day when we celebrate that Jesus is alive. And lighting this candle reminds us of that Jesus is alive, the light of the world. So let's say a prayer to begin. Dear God, we thank you for Easter Sunday, a wonderful day in the year when we celebrate Jesus is alive. And as we have Bible Bites today, help us to learn more a bit about you and also a bit about ourselves whilst having lots of fun. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen. So, here we go, Easter Part 2. But we're just going to rewind to Easter Part 1. So, for those who may have seen Easter Part 1, I'm going to give you a quick summary. And for those who haven't seen Easter Part 1, here's a quick summary, and you can maybe watch this first, then this one, or you can watch it later. So, Easter Part 1, we journeyed in the Easter story from Jesus' entry into Jerusalem. He rose a king of love on a donkey. And those palm leaves, as I showed some last time, were thrown in front, a bit like a red carpet, showing how important Jesus was. And then we had a little bit about learning about Jesus had his last meal, the Last Supper, where he broke the bread at the meal and said, "Do this in remembrance of me." And he shared the wine and said, "Drink this in remembrance of me." And that is very important. And then we learned a little more about Good Friday and why Good Friday is good. And then we completed the story briefly about talking about Easter Sunday, that day of resurrection when Jesus had risen. So today we're going to learn more about Easter Sunday, a resurrection day, that Jesus is alive. Now you might remember I did show you this thing last time and said we're going to be using that, and we are going to be using that this time. So that is good. And the other thing, before I'm going to hand over to Reverend Dave, is to say we've got something special this year at Easter. So during Easter week, from Easter Sunday through to Saturday, we've got a Bible Bites Easter treasure hunt around Dersingham. This is free to do, and if you ask your mum, dad or carers, they can access this on the website and get the map, and you can work your way around Dersingham to different places, and there are clues, and you get the words, and they spell out a Bible verse all about Easter Sunday and the resurrection. And there's a little prize for all those who take part. So don't forget to enjoy that as well. Right, I think it's now time for Reverend Dave to come and share a little more about the theme today, which is unbelievable but true. Reverend Dave, over to you.
So hello everyone, we're going to jump straight into our resurrection Bible story now. So sit comfortably and here we go. Jesus' followers were sitting quietly and they were so sad because Jesus was dead. And he had been buried deep in a tomb, which is a place where we would put bodies. The disciples, who were the closest friends of Jesus, were hiding in a room with their doors bolted across because they were so afraid. And they were ashamed because they had run away when Jesus needed their help the most. They had denied Jesus. They pretended that they didn't know him, and they felt terrible for it. One other of Jesus' friends, named Mary Magdalene, was crying. And she sighed to herself, my Lord, he's gone. He's gone." And Mary waited until the first light of day on that Sunday morning so she could go to the tomb where Jesus had been laid to see him once more. She'd sat there throughout the whole long night, waiting for that day to come. So the next day she set off to the garden where Jesus had been buried, and she carried some special things to take to the tomb with her. When she arrived, the first rays of the sun were pouring through the trees, and they could hear the birds tweeting in the distance, and everything seemed normal except the stone. The stone that was supposed to be covering the tomb had been moved, and it was a huge stone. How could that be possible? Mary gasped. She looked around, but she couldn't see anyone who could have done this. Who could have moved it away, she wondered. She went inside, and Jesus' body was gone. She ran away as fast as she could to see the other Jesus' friends, the disciples. And at once, Peter and John, two of his friends, ran to the garden and saw this empty tomb for themselves. They walked in. They touched the clothes that Jesus would have been wearing. The body had clearly gone. But could Jesus really be alive again? They didn't know what to think, really. Mary stayed in the garden and she was crying again. And as she walked out, she saw there was no body, no Jesus. But she didn't realize some strangers were nearby. "Why are you crying?" they said to her. She replied, "Because they've taken my Lord and I don't know where they've put him." She went back out into the garden and sat down, continuing to cry. She was crying so much that she didn't see a special figure come up behind her and say to her these words, "Why are you crying?" "Oh, sir," she said, "you must be the gardener here. If you've taken the body, please tell me where you've put him." "Mary," said the figure. She turned round. She knew that voice. It was the voice of Jesus. How could this have happened, she wondered. Jesus, the Messiah, he'd come back to life. Wow. He was looking straight at her, and with such love, she reached out her hands and touched his feet and said, "Master, Master." Jesus said to her, "You don't have to hold on to me now. Just go and tell all the disciples that you have seen me and that I am on my way to see my Father in heaven." So Mary ran back to the disciples and told them everything that she had seen. Wow, what a story. So I hope you enjoyed hearing that story again. Maybe that's the first time you've heard that story, or maybe you've heard it many times before. But it's really almost unbelievable, isn't it? But yet it's true. And there are some things that we can see that look unbelievable, but are in fact true. Here's something for you to have a look at, which will appear on your screen. A fish that ordinarily we would think of fish as something that just swim through the ocean, through the rivers, rather unremarkable. But check out this fish. This is a flying fish. It's unbelievable, but it's true. It really is flying. Take a look at that. Unbelievable, but true. Or maybe you've heard of the astronaut Tim Peake, a UK astronaut. And maybe the idea of someone being out there, up in space, moving around is unbelievable to you, but it's also true. Unbelievable, but true. A bit like our story today. What I have in front of me are some bubbles. Now, this is fairly unremarkable in some regards, you might say. Let's see if I can get some bubbles going here. I haven't tried this yet, so we'll see if it works. Wonder if you can see them. Hopefully you can see some of those. Just your standard bubbles. Nothing particularly remarkable or unbelievable about them. But you know what? I think we can do better than these diddly little bubbles. What if we could do something even bigger? Something bigger and bigger and bigger still. What if it could be bigger than me or bigger than Reverend Mark? Do you think it's possible? Can we find out? Shall we go and have a look? We're going to be taking this with us, which has already been introduced to you before, to see if we can do what is seemingly unbelievable, but completely true. Let's go and have a look.
So hello, yes, this is St Nicholas Church here in Dersingham. It's the church we're using today for Bible Bites. And so, as Reverend Dave has said, we have got this orange thing. And I've got a bucket and we've got some special mixture in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and make some massive bubbles. So I hope you're ready. Let's see how we get on. Right. Whoa, unbelievable, but true! Oh, hey!
Here we go, my turn.
Unbelievable, but true! Here we go. Wow! Unbelievable, but true!
So there you have it. Unbelievable, but true. Some amazing bubbles that were made there. Did you think we could do it? Well, we managed to pull it off, didn't we? Unbelievable, but true. And it's very similar to our Bible story with Jesus coming back to life. You know, nobody thought that Jesus was actually going to come back to life, even though he told all the people that that's what was going to happen. And it was amazing because it changed the lives of all of those people who he met. And we heard just a little bit about that in the story. And then, of course, it went on to change the lives of thousands and then hundreds of thousands and millions of people all across the world today. And many people today follow Jesus in that same way. In my own life, I decided when I was about 17 years old to go to church and to see a little bit more about what it meant to follow Jesus. And I started to hear things for the first time about how Jesus had come back from the dead and was alive today. And I decided to trust in him. And I felt a peace in my heart for the first time that I still carry with me today. And it continues to change my life every day for the better. So our question to leave with you now is this. The story we've heard about Jesus is unbelievable, but true. What does it mean for you? Unbelievable, but true. What does it mean for you? So hopefully you've had just a few moments to think a bit about that, about what does this story mean for you in your life? Well, we are now at Easter, which is fantastic. And one of the good things about Easter, of course, is chocolate eggs. Now, I wonder if you ever really think a bit about what that means. If you open up your chocolate Easter egg today, just try and remember that it's about new life. Just as a chick comes out of an egg to show us new life, so we will also be remembering how Jesus came back to life too. So try to remember that as you enjoy your chocolate Easter eggs, if you have one to enjoy today. Also, we just want to remind you that the Bible Bites treasure hunt is now on. So go to our website, DersinghamOnlineWorship.com, and you can get all the information that you need there to get involved and to get out in Dersingham and to follow all of these clues. At the end, as I think Reverend Mark said, there's just a little prize for you to enjoy at the end when it's all done. So you're warmly invited to come and have some fun to do this too. Let's say a prayer to finish with a whisper amen at the end now. Dear God, we thank you for all the fun and excitement today in our Bible Bites Part 2 Easter Special. Thank you that the story about your son Jesus coming back from the dead was unbelievable, but it was true, and it changed the lives of all of those people, and it can change our lives today too. So guide us and help us in our week ahead to think about that and to remember that, especially as we're enjoying chocolate Easter eggs and thinking about all the other things at Easter time. Thank you for this story and what it means to us. Let's say a whisper amen to finish. Amen. Over to Reverend Mark.
And so it's Happy Easter from us and goodbye from Bible Bites. Bye-bye.